for me, there needs to be more repercussion on what Corltand Finnegan has continually done for the last several years. I mean, he's a good player, don't get me wrong, but he's not exactly shown the great restraint that I think he needs to learn. And also, I think it pays to look at their responses after the whole incident and after the game. I mean, Andre Johnson acted with nothing but contrition, remorse, and was fully willing to take any suspension or fine.
So did Rae Carruth.
Well,
so did Rae Carruth. He had a whole lot of remorse and a whole lot of regret in his voice. But you know what? At the end of the day, somebody was not on this earth anymore.
I mean,
so it's not justifiable to say, oh, let me try to punch this man's lights out. But now I after the fact, yeah, I feel a little bit better about it now. You know, like, come on.
I mean, I'm not going to equate...
Maintain control.
I'm not going to equate an on-the-field moment of anger with somebody being dead.
Why not?
It's not the same.
Why isn't it?
It's clearly not the same.
It's clearly the same. That if you can act on impulse.
LaVar, someone's dead in one case.
Okay, and how do people
game in another?
And how do people get in those situations? Because you have an individual that was not able to control their emotions.
Okay.
I don't see how it's any different. I would be willing to say that it's not.
Okay. You have.
In a moment,
you're more than willing to say it.
In a moment of weakness, the most extreme things can take place. He could have punched that man. Look at Rudy Tomjanovich, however you say his name. Tomjanovich.
Yeah, Kermit Washington.
He could have killed him.
Yeah.
He could have died off of that.
You're right.
And that was just merely competition getting out of control, and a man then sat there and cracked another guy's face. That same difference. So it's different because the guy didn't die when he hit him. I'm saying if you don't control yourself and you do things in the heat of the moment, don't come back and say, oh, well, I didn't mean to do it. Like, the bottom line is whether you meant it or whether you didn't, whether you sincerely repented from it or not, that moment where you lost yourself and did that, something terrible happened.
But I think what the caller was trying to say is at least Andre Johnson was remorseful after the fact and Finnegan wasn't.
Again, I say, so what does that do? What does that do? During the break, they try to, Drab and Bill try to explain to me that the Rae Carruth situation is different because there was premeditation and it was murder involved, whereas with Andre Johnson, it was right there. So one would be first degree murder and the other one would be like manslaughter if say Corltand Finnegan just dropped dead right there.
Right.
All right. Now, I get that. All right. But what I was explaining during the break is what you got to understand. The mechanism that sets a person off to be able to do things as extreme as what took place with the Rae Carruth situation or what happened with Andre Johnson comes from the same school of thought, the same place. Whatever that woman did or whatever she said to Rae Carruth to click him out, to make him go to the point of where he says, I'm going to kill her. I am going to kill this woman. Mm-hmm. Whether it was a phone call and she said, I'm about to take your money, this your kid, now take that, blah, blah, blah. Whatever that moment when it clicked on Carruth to do what he did, to make the calls, the plan, this and that. If that woman was in front of him, the same way Finnegan was in front of Andre Johnson, the results would have been the same. He would have threw punches with bad intentions the same way Andre Johnson did. So it comes from the same place. Now, whether that man is able to regain and recompose himself and be like, that's a crazy thought to kill this woman or to try to do something as extreme as that. Let me get myself together like it's a baby. Let me take care of my kid. I laid down with this woman, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Then that's a whole nother. Now, that's a different school of thought. Studying where a person's mind goes at that moment is a different study and a different thought. But the mechanism that is triggered off at that moment where it's fight or flight is like right now, the way you've made me feel right now, I'm either not going to do anything or I am going to try to mess you up. Yeah, but those are the same moments.
But the thing is, LaVar, Carruth that moment was long gone by the time anything happened.
I'm not arguing that.
He didn't pull the trigger.
I agree with what you're saying, but it was the initial origin of what took place where he lost his control and lost enough control at that moment where the same thing could have happened if that woman was right in front of him. Is what I'm saying. I'm totally in agreement with what you're saying, but it's the fact of the matter that he did not he was in the moment, and the moment came and went, but obviously,
he stayed with him.
there was still aftermath. There was aftershock, after feeling, or more built up aggression, more pent up bad energy towards that situation that led to what it led to. But the origins are the same. Just so happens Andre Johnson got instant gratification for losing his cool.
You want to put it that way?
That's instant gratification.
Okay.
Is what it is.